guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is on winter glowing skin. So when you think of winter, you don't really think of super glowing skin. That's more of the summertime. And I feel like it can be harder to achieve a glowy look in the wintertime because most people aren't as tan and the colors just sometimes don't mix. So for today's tutorial, I'm just going to go through some steps that will really help you achieve a nice glowing effect to the skin. And it's not just going to be, you know, product recommendations as far as like your foundation goes. I'm really going to give you guys some tips that are really going to help you out with achieving that skin-like glow. So if you guys are interested in this look, then just keep on watching.
Alright guys, I'm starting out with my Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream, and I've been using this as a face primer recently because it's really hydrating on my skin, and I think it also has hyaluronic acid in it, which also helps to plump your skin. Moving on to foundation, I'm using the new Becca Aqua Luminous foundation. This is one that just recently launched, and I'm using that with the One Perfecting brush, which looks really funny. It looks like a big paintbrush, and it honestly feels like you are painting your face with a paintbrush, but it works really nicely. I was actually very surprised with this. It's really funky looking, but it works well with this foundation. I wanted to give you guys another option. If you want lighter luminous coverage, I would go for a foundation like this or maybe Max Face and Body. But if you want a fuller coverage look, I would use something like the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Invisible Cover Stick. That one is very full coverage, but it still has a luminous look to it. It's also one of my favorites, so I wanted to point that out in case you guys do want more coverage. For under eye brightener, I'm using my MAC Prep and Prime pencil, and this is in the shade Rose Radiance. I guess it's not a pencil, it's a pen. It's in the shade Rose Radiance, so it has more of a pinkier undertone. I've been layering a pink brightener with a yellow concealer recently, and I think it really just helps to make the overall look more brighter, more awake, and just a little bit more full coverage. Since I did go for the lighter coverage foundation, I did want to kind of double up on the concealer to make sure that I was covered in those areas. So for concealer, like I said, I'm using something that's a little bit more yellow, and this is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Concealer in the shade Y23. So I'm just layering that on top of the pink, and it really helps to balance out any discoloration. I don't really have dark circles, but if you have that problem, layering those two products together or any type of pink with a yellow will help out that discolored area. So this next part is really important. I'm just setting my under eye area and part of my T-zone with a translucent powder. You don't want to set the rest of your face with a ton of powder unless you're really oily, and I suspect if you are, you probably aren't going to gravitate towards this routine, but I'm just setting my under eye area with a translucent powder because no one wants their under eye area to look shiny or highlighted or luminous. You really want that area to be flat and save the highlighted parts for the rest of the face. So this is an oldie but a goodie. Do you guys remember this from my summer tutorials? This is the Perricone MD No Bronzer Bronzer. And this, if I could recommend one thing from this tutorial to you guys, it would be this product. It truly makes your skin look like you're glowing from within. It gives you that sun-kissed look and that bronzed look. Even for the shade that I am very fair right now. It managed to make me look like I was a couple shades darker, especially in my foundation. But what I do with that is I just take a little bit on the back of my hand, and then I just place it around the outer perimeters of my face and along my jawline. You really just want to make sure that you have an even blended look with this because we're going to go back in with a powder bronzer later. This is just to help lay down that overall glow. I think the second most important step is the highlighter. Obviously, if you want a luminous look, you're going to want to use a highlighter. So what I do when I want an ultra dewy luminous look is I take my highlighter. Here I'm using the Becca Champagne Pop highlighter, and I apply it to wet skin. I know that sounds really crazy, but there's a purpose and there's a reason why I did not set the rest of my face. Anytime you apply a powdered highlighter to a bare foundation or a little bit of a tacky foundation, it really just captures the overall luminosity. I mean, I think if you guys try it, you'll understand what I'm saying. But I've been applying my highlighter like this for months now, and it's just an all-day lasting glow. I can't recommend it enough. So try it out, see if it works. Let me know what you think. For blush, I opted for a cream blush, and this is the IT Cosmetics Vitality Blush in the shade Je ne sais quoi. It looks really scary. It's a hot pink color, but when you're doing a very luminous, glowy look like this, you don't want to go for a blush that's, you know, more plum toned or more brown toned. You really want your cheeks to look like they're actually flushed. So I just went in with this cream color, and obviously a cream would be a little bit more luminous on the cheeks. If you don't have a cream blush, that's fine. You could use a blush that might have a little bit more shimmer in it, but you want to use a blush that has a little bit more of a pinkier tone because you want your cheeks to look like they're naturally flushed. So this is really the only part that I'm going in and using quite a bit of powder. I powder my lower jawline. That sounds really weird, but the biggest complaint that I used to get when I worked at my Bare Minerals store was that people's foundation always rubbed off around their jawline or around the lower part of their face because they sit at work all day and they have their hands on their face and it kind of rubs off. So by applying a powder to the lower part of your face, you don't want that part of your face to be luminous anyways. So by applying a powder to the lower part of your face, that's just really going to help lock the foundation in place and also make you appear like you have a little bit more coverage. So here's where I'm going back over the liquid bronzer. I use the Milani bronzer. It's the one that's very luminous. I think it's just in the shade called Glow. I'll have the name listed down below because it's just completely slipped my mind. So now we're going to move into the eyes, and I wanted to include the eyes and the lips for you guys. I didn't really do much, but anytime I just do a face tutorial, people always say, oh, I wish you would have shown the eyes and the lips, so I went ahead and included that in here. Obviously, I opted for something that was a little bit more natural and fresh, so I used my Tarte in Bloom palette. I am totally obsessed with this palette right now, you guys. It is so beautiful. I cannot say enough good things about it. So I just used the lightest tan color in the palette. I'll have the names listed down below. And then the shade I'm applying to my lid right now is called Funny Girl. It is so pretty. It reminds me a lot of Stila's Kitten eyeshadow. And I just wanted to add a pop of luminosity to my eyelid. I didn't want to add, you know, a dramatic smoky eye. I wanted to keep the look very fresh. And after that, I just applied a little bit of my MAC Teddy eyeliner and some Ardell Demi Whispies, and that was it for the eye look. I had already applied my Buxom Ava gloss. You guys may have noticed that throughout the tutorial, but I wanted to bump it up just a little bit, so I applied MAC Soar Lip Liner to my lips, and that just added a little bit more fullness to my lips and a little bit more color. So that is it for this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions for me, feel free to leave them down below. If you try any of these tips out, please let me know how they go for you. I'd love to hear your feedback. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.